Hi guys, welcome again to my channel. And in the last episode we spoke about the design of the apartment buildings, how they were designed to use steel structures and also using block work and reinforced concrete for the floors, very light. We also spoke about managing the supplies of the blocks and how we had an engineering team on supervision, just to make sure that quality control was most important and was done. Now, on this episode, I want to talk about material supplies, because this is a huge project. So you will wonder, how did you manage all these supplies? So what we did was, because we contracted out to all these contractors, obviously cement will be bought locally, so they will buy their cement, they will buy their aggregates, and anything local. We didn't have any say or anything to do with the local materials. But we wanted to control the quality on the imported materials. Imported material, for example, like tiles, windows, doors, kitchen cabinets, you name it. Paint, everything that you need to use for a finishing material. There needs to be uniformity, because every apartment that you sell, which was about 608 in number, needs to be the same. You cannot have one with one quality and not the other. So I decided to travel to China after doing my research with some suppliers that I dealt with before, to place an order for the whole project. Again, remember, it's not difficult. While it's over 1,000 units, the units were only about 4 or 5 types. So we simply just took off all the quantities for every unit and then multiplied by the number. So for example, on the apartments that were 608 in number, it wasn't difficult. One type, we took off the quantities, multiplied by 608, and it will give you all the quantities that you need. So I had to go to China and make sure that, again, quality control. Don't forget to control your quality. So the quality control was done. Now, not only was that an issue, but also the supplies, because you don't want to go and order all the materials at the same time. You will have a problem with storage. So you need to work out a program on how the supplies will come in. So we did that with our suppliers. We did a program on how everything will be supplied. For example, 608 apartments multiplied by an average of 150 is 100 and something thousand square meters of tiles. We ended up, bringing into here, in totality, in containers alone, was close to almost 1,000 containers. If you add up all the materials that came from China and the steel frame from England, over 1,000 containers were shipped from China into Port Harcourt. And again, in doing so, on shipping, it had to be dropped in Amadi Port. Amadi Port is not in Port Harcourt. Then obviously the whole system, the structure of clearing these things through the port, that's for another episode. But yes, I made sure that I chose the right qualities, the right quantities, went and negotiate with the supplier. Because when you're buying big quantities, remember, you can negotiate for good discounts. So with these suppliers, I negotiated with them, had a program, a payment plan, how we will pay them, and their supply, and they were very consistent. This is very important. Now, when it comes to site, you need to be able to handle it. Storage. Obviously, one of the major problems in construction is pilferage. If you are thinking of venturing into construction, one thing that I must be very honest with you is pilferage and also wastage, breakage. If, for example, you need to tile a floor that is 150 square meters, in Africa, make sure you bring in 10 or 15% more, because something will go wrong, there'll be breakage somewhere, and you can run short of that material. So all this were calculated. We went to China, ordered all these materials, and then did a program. And as the supply were coming in, the contractors were on ground and fixing them. So it was a major achievement we had by making sure that we bring in the right materials and had the capacity to fix it. Now, clearing it here, obviously you also need to have somebody, a good clearing agent, because you cannot do everything. So we had an excellent clearing agent who will now do all what was necessary in paying the right duties, clearing it from the site and delivering it. That's very important. So every step of the construction in terms of bringing materials must be done by using third parties, but third parties who are knowledgeable in what they were doing. So it was very successful that we had an excellent clearing agent who were clearing all these materials, and when it came, we didn't have warehouses to stock it. They were stocked in some of the buildings that were almost ready, and then the supplies went on. So guys, that's what I have for you in this episode, and it's about material supplies, making sure you plan yourself very well, identify good suppliers. That's the takeaway. Always identify a good supplier, somebody that has a track record, somebody that you can trust, because in some suppliers will not deliver what you want and you can be disappointed. Then whilst you order these things, make sure at times you can have an independent quality control officer from the source. So everything that is being shipped to you, there's quality control being done. So that's the takeaway. Always make sure that you have the right materials, put in the right structures to make sure what you ordered is supplied, and when it arrives, it goes through customs and the right fees are paid for it to reach your site. Thank you very much. Don't forget to strike that subscribe and like button on my channel. Until we see again. Thank you.